Hi, everyone. My name is Tom Greco, and I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar. Today's webinar will be your one-stop shop for both job cost accounting and payroll. I'm joined here today with my colleague, Andrew Nicholson. I'm one of the regional sales managers over here at Foundation Software, and Andrew is one of the outside sales reps for Payroll for Construction. Today's goal is to go through both the highlights of Foundation Software and also talk about the highlights of Payroll for Construction, talk about the similarities, the differences, and talk about how we can provide you with a one-stop shop both for accounting and or your payroll. Hey, Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tom. Excited to show everyone what we have to offer here.
Excellent. And before we jump in, I just want to let everybody know that you're in pretty much everybody's in muted mode as far as today's presentation. So if you do have any questions or you need us to go over anything again, there should be an area within your GoToMeeting player where you'll be able to enter in your questions, anything that you need us to review. And at the end, Andrew and I will go through all the questions, talk about what we presented, and then also give you some additional information on how you can contact us if you have more questions or you'd like to maybe take a look at Foundation Software or Payroll for Construction a little bit more detailed. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about Foundation Software and about how a job cost accounting system can benefit you if you're looking to make a change on the accounting end, streamline things within the system, and I'll go ahead and go through that with you. So what you should see on your screen right now would be somewhat of what it would look like, the main menu of Foundation Software. And a little bit about us, we were formed in 1985, and the nice thing about Foundation is it's originally written for construction. So we've had a long time experience of coming in and replacing what we would call off-the-shelf systems or, systems that aren't truly integrated from both an accounting and a job costing side. And we've been doing that for a very long time. So what we would do is we would come in and replace, let's say the QuickBooks of the world or, any of the systems that are not truly built for construction. And we provide our clients with a lot more of an integrated accounting solution that would bridge the gap between what happens in accounting and the reporting and job costing and certified payroll and everything like that. In and around, I would say around 2007, we've been doing very complicated construction payroll for a very long time. So we came up with the idea of having both an integrated and a standalone payroll service, which is called Payroll for Construction. Andrew will talk a lot more about that when I turn things over to him, but I do want you to know that it's fully built in the system, and you'll notice from our main menu to Payroll for Construction, you'll notice a lot of similarities here. Now with Foundation, truly integrated from top to bottom, meaning when I enter a job into the system, there's a lot of information I can load on that job that will help me do a lot of things in the software. With the accounting system, we look to capture data one time, meaning when I go into the system, I record an invoice, I'm going to job cost it, and that really bridges that gap between accounting and job costing so that we can have real-time reporting, work in progress reporting, AIAs, all that fun stuff that is pretty popular with construction and the course of a billing or the course of a project. And with the system itself, we always start everybody with these base modules up top here. Now this is designed to replace your current solution and give you something a lot more integrated from an accounting and job costing side. So when we're talking bare minimum, we're able to do a lot of integration with the payables end, be able to enter subcontracts in and invoice against them, run committed cost reports, AIA billings, job costing, change orders, certified payroll. And then we also have obviously a general ledger module. So if you still need financials and tax preparation reports, all that should be in here too. And in addition to the base system, we also have additional modules that would also tie to job costing, such as equipment, also being able to do depreciation through fixed assets, everybody's favorite inventory tracking. So we're able to enter in detailed POs, track the life cycle of items from warehouse to job. Even clients that have a service division, we're able to handle jobs in job costing and service dispatch. time and material billing, being able to mark up costs, mark up labor, produce an itemized bill, as well as unit price billing for those that need to do unit price-based AIAs. Now, we also offer on top of the accounting system other features like project management, being able to track RFIs, submittals, transmittals, being able to have a Gantt chart-driven schedule, being able to create a schedule based on cost codes or tasks, and also allocate resources so that we can see exactly where all of our jobs are, all of our resources are located. So you're able to do that within the same system as well. Document imaging and routing, being able to electronically file AP invoices, pictures of the job, sign change orders, so that we have one system that we're working in completely. And that's kind of the big thing, or the big integration part with Foundation, and also Foundation with Payroll for Construction. Being able to have outsourced payroll built into your accounting system really streamlines that process tremendously, where I'm not looking to do double entry. And that's our whole goal, is eliminate double entry from reporting, payroll processing, certified payroll, AIAs, having the system do all the work for us. Now, with the system itself, we're able to also integrate with a lot of third-party estimating. So I always commonly come across companies that might be using accounting they might be using QuickBooks for accounting, and they're using something like McCormick for estimating, or something really powerful from an estimating tool, but they never talk to each other. We want to bridge that gap. We're also able to then also import budgets from those third-party estimating tools so that ultimately we can see how we stack up against that budget. With the system, everything is built in. The dashboard is also part of our core system. We want to provide you with easy reporting tools out of the gate that anybody can come in here and run their own reports. That's where I'm going to start this demonstration, being able to show you how easy it is and how integrated the reporting is. So as we're recording transactions within the system, we're able to run reports real time. And with the dashboard itself, it's a great tool for those that either have to run multiple reports to satisfy what they're looking for, or looking for something very easy that they can have other people come in and run their own reports. And that's really what the dashboard is all about. Being able to constantly compare where we're at job costing wise, being able to see estimate versus actual, being able to see, my total contracts, my total estimated cost, my potential profit, and then be able to see what's really going on as far as billings to date, cost to date, actual profit. And from here, I can also drill into these graphs and take it a step further, right? So be able to see all my jobs, and then each job having its own up-to-date contract amount. So a lot of times systems struggle, or off-the-shelf systems struggle with change orders. So am I truly looking at the right number? Does it have change orders? You can rest assured with Foundation, with our change order process, you'll be able to code those to the job. And when I look at these numbers, they'll be up-to-date and accurate. Same thing with the estimated cost, the estimated profit. And then, like I said, being able to see what's really going on, billings to date, cost to date by job, and what's my actual margins? What percent complete am I? Am I underbilled or overbilled? So we're always keeping job costing on the same line with accounting so that we don't fall behind as far as billings go. Now from here, I can drill into any single one of these jobs and get another layer underneath it. So once again, I can highlight a job or double click on the drill down, and now I pretty much have everything about this job on one screen. Whether I'm looking to see every billing that's gone out the door, every dollar of cost, every change order, every subcontract, what's left on those subcontracts, it's all right here. So I don't have to go too far to find that information. I just have to point and click. A really popular part of Foundation is the estimate versus actual. Being able to now take our job costing a step further and see how we stack up with our budget. Budget meaning estimated cost by cost code and category. And then being able to see the actual cost, which would come from the accounting side. So as I code time, I'm able to code it to the job, code it to the cost code, and that's all I really have to do. Once payroll goes out the door, all my jobs are updated. I don't need to do anything in here manually. These numbers are here, accurate and up to date. Now, if I want to drill into any one of these codes and get a next layer underneath it, once again, all we do is point and click. So we make it very easy to drill into costs and be able to see how we are labor, labor hours versus actual hours, what's still left out there as far as labor hours go. Another thing that we do very well is we allocate burden. So those that want to track comp to job costing, employer taxes, that all happens real time through the payroll module as well. And Andrew will probably talk a little bit about that too when we start talking about payroll for construction and the overall payroll process. Now, what's nice about Foundation is I can drill into any single one of these categories and get all the detail back out of it. So we don't have to, stop at this point. If we really truly want to see what makes up that cost, let's say labor, for example, I just point and click and I drill right into the time cards from payroll. As time is coded, like I said, it's coded to the job, it's coded to the cost code, payroll goes out the door. These reports are all updated. We can do the same thing with material costs, subcontract costs, equipment. So if you're using a system that may be something like QuickBooks and you want to record utilization of equipment, that's something that our system can do through the equipment module, where now we can see real-time costing there as well. If I click on materials, I can drill into all the AP invoices. And if I still have questions, I can just keep drilling until I want to drill into a copy of that invoice, all of which you can do, all of which would happen only one time when I enter that invoice. I can attach it here, and then it flows throughout the whole system. In addition to the detailed job costing, being able to look at change orders is something very important for companies that deal with, a lot of change orders that flow in and out of a job. Being able to have reports based on that I can drill into are also important. Same thing with financials, P&Ls, over under billing. Once again, just double click. I can drill into monthly totals. And if I need to, I can just keep drilling in as far as I want to go. So having everything all in one place is extremely popular. It's extremely efficient. And it's also one of the main reasons why, we decided to create our own payroll service, which is Payroll for Construction. A lot of times companies are using assisted payroll or, hey, I don't really truly want to deal with the taxes. It's something that our payroll service can do, and it's completely built into our accounting system. Project cash flow, being able to drill into that information is key. I deal with a lot of companies that they want to report like this. This is going to take them a very long time for them to create or to compile, where it's stuff that we do right out of the system day one. Retainage tracking, all available in here, being able to drill into totals by job. I can drill into that job and just keep drilling all the way in, where I can see all the invoices, what's still open, what's out there for retainage. We try to separate that all nicely within the system. I just wanted to touch on some highlights of the reporting. I am going to turn things over to Andrew, and he's going to go through Payroll for Construction, talk a little bit about the service itself, talk a little bit about the flow. So I'm going to turn things over to you, Andrew.
All right, thanks, Tom. And again, if any of you guys want to see, in more detail the Foundation system, obviously, we'll pull up, Tom's info here at the end of the webinar. So that way, if you want to send him an email, schedule a personal one-on-one demonstration, absolutely, you guys can do that. But you guys should be seeing my screen now here with the Payroll for Construction kind of explanation up front here. So basically, there's two products here. Like Tom said, we have the full accounting ERP system, job cost reporting, all that stuff that he just went through here today. And what I'm going to focus in on here is the payroll service side of it. Now, with the two products, there's really three different ways that you can utilize them. The first way is you might just purchase Foundation software and just run your payroll in-house. So you'll still get the benefit of, all the government reporting. You've got the certified payroll, the unions, workers' comp, all the different reports inside the Foundation payroll module. And then obviously those clients would just be, paying their own employees and doing their own taxes in-house using the reports that Foundation generates. There are also hybrid clients, which are clients that use Foundation to process their payroll because they need those reports, but they still don't want to deal with paying the employees and taxes once the payroll's been processed. And they also don't want to outsource that information or that piece of the payroll because of all those important detailed reports. It's really tough to outsource payroll when you use a complex system, a payroll system like Foundation's payroll module, because there's all kinds of details in there that can be a pain to recreate when you're jumping, back and forth between a third-party payroll service and your accounting payroll service. Matching those numbers up can be a real pain. So that's why a lot of our clients that already are on Foundation choose to use payroll for construction, because you're dealing with one company here. You're not having to deal with exporting and importing data, or as Tom mentioned, doing any double entry. So it really just eliminates a bunch of extra work by just, clicking a button inside your Foundation to have us process the payroll instead of having to do that extra entry in another system. Now, we also have a third type of client. We do take on standalone clients for the payroll service. So if you use an accounting system such as QuickBooks, or, there's lots of them out there, Sage or any of those out there, we do integrate with many different accounting systems. We upload a file back that has, the general ledger job costing information to update those types of reports. So, I'm going to focus more in on, standalone clients here today. But of course, if you are a Foundation user, absolutely, you can use payroll for construction to eliminate having us pay having to pay the employees and taxes on your own. I do want to mention that we process payroll in all 50 states. So whether you work in one state and you have employees that live in different states, or vice versa, you have employees that live in one state and work all over, or maybe you have people that live all around and work all around, we can handle the taxes in all 50 states. And then obviously Foundation is going to do a real good job of automating the state tax reporting so that you're not having to, track any of that stuff yourself. And then, we definitely specialize in the union and certified payroll, the prevailing wage reporting as well. That's a big reason, big ticket item why a lot of our customers come to us, is they need help with the certifieds, because, a lot of contractors, they're not going to tell you the hardest part about their payroll is paying the employees and taxes. Obviously to run your business, those are things that have to be done, things that you'll be very familiar with. What is really time consuming is the compliance reporting and, everything that comes after the payroll's been processed. So that's where, Foundation's payroll module and payroll for construction does a great job of automating all those reports so that you're not having to do any of those calculations manually. And then, like it says here at the bottom, we're still just like any other payroll service out there. We're going to pay your employees by check or direct deposit. We're going to handle all the taxes. And then obviously you're still getting job cost reports and EEO reporting, union, all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the payroll system here. Now, what you'll notice is what Tom just showed you, what I'm showing you is very similar to that. But what I'm showing you is just the parts necessary to run payroll. So you can see I don't have all the other additional modules. All I have activated here is the payroll, job cost, and general ledger pieces. So again, if you're a Foundation client already, what you're looking at here is very familiar. All the reports that you'll get in the system, all this stuff, you're going to say, hey, Andrew, this looks exactly the same as I use now. And that's exactly the case. So, all those reports are still available. A lot of Foundation clients like to ask me, hey, Andrew, is there a demo you can show me on the payroll service? And, to be completely honest with you, the only thing that changes for you is there's going to be a submit payroll button in here. So once you get your time cards entered, you look at your reports and you're like, okay, all my data is good. You'll just be able to click this button right here. We're taking care of paying the employees and taxes from that point forward. And then you can still run all those reports that you're used to getting out of Foundation, just like you do normally. Now, for anybody who's, running a QuickBooks or another accounting system out there, this is a system that can be used standalone, like I mentioned earlier. So, we can set up jobs in the system here to track those, different states. So if you're a contractor that's working in multiple states and, job A is in state A and job B is in state B, and you have to make sure those reports are separated. A big thing that sets us aside from lots of other payroll services out there is we can drive those things by job. So whether it's workers' comp, pay rates, or taxes, we can control all that on the job record there to automate it. And then to get time into the system, you have a way to type it in there manually. If you're just getting pen and paper time cards from the field, you can just come in and type it in. Our screen's customizable, so we can make it fit, based on what you're looking at to do the entries. We also have our own mobile application that uses parts of the Foundation mobile app. So you can have the employees enter time in there and then just sync that time over seamlessly right into the payroll system. Or if you use another mobile application out there, we do integrate with many of the different, field management systems. So chances are, as long as that system can export a CSV or Excel file or a text file, we'll just be able to take that file, upload it into the database here to get that entry part taken care of. And then you'll have your reports over here, your QuickBooks integration, or file uploads for other systems. And then, the reports is the biggest thing. So I'm going to go over here to the payroll reports section. And if you need workers' compensation, we have an option for that. Minority compliance EEO is here as well. If you need, certified, obviously, is a big one. They're over here. I do like to touch on the electronic option here. Certified payroll has become a pretty generic term for a lot of companies out there. A lot of companies will just say, oh yeah, we handle certified payroll, but exactly what format do you need? Is it just the federal, or do you need a state specific format? Or to go a bit further, do you need an electronic format? A California DIR, EMARS, LCP tracker, even like the Washington Department of Labor and Industries. There's lots of different upload formats here that can be very time consuming if you don't have a system like ours that can just export a file to upload to those, different websites. If you don't have a system like ours, you're having to take a paper form, if your system does provide those for you, and type all those employees in with their hours and their classes and everything manually, whereas a system like ours really cuts all that time out. And then, of course, if you do need a hard copy form in here, those are very simple to run. We have lots of different formats in here. So you can see, Alaska and California, Colorado. I'll just kind of scroll through here. Obviously, I won't have time to run all these here today. If you do want to see a specific format, definitely let me know. We can schedule a demo and I can run one for you guys specifically. But there's lots of formats in here. I'll just stick with the regular US Department of Labor. And then all you're really doing in here is putting in the date range, the pay week that you need that for. When you hit report, our system is going to put all those details in there. So who's the employee, what's his class, all the hours, the pay rate, deductions, even the no work performed is being done here. Another thing I like to mention while we're looking at these certified payroll forms is everything is done all in the one system. So that's a big thing where, if you use Foundation for the certifieds and use an outside payroll service to pay the employees and taxes, a lot of your time can be spent doing corrections of, okay, I need to correct the pay in the payroll system to handle the difference in the pay, of the employee and taxes. And then now you also have to come in Foundation and do an adjustment for the, job cost reports and certified payroll, workers' comp, all those things. Whereas if you use payroll for construction, everything is just all updated in one system. There's no bouncing back and forth between two different systems. Everything, once you make that correction, add the hours to the job, it's all going to flow in here automatically for you so that you're not having to, do too much work when something like that does come up, because we know this is the construction industry, mistakes like that are going to happen. It's not if, it's when. And having a system that's retroactive where you can make those types of corrections is very crucial, where you're not, sinking tons of hours doing those types of things. I do want to touch on the job cost reporting here. Tom did touch on this with the Foundation side, but as a payroll service client, you're still going to be able to come in here, run, for any of these jobs that you have going, see the hours, the earnings, but not just the earnings, but you're going to see the FICA, FUTA, SUTA, workers' comp, employer contributions. If you're a union contractor, those union fringes will be in here too. So you're really getting a total snapshot of the cost. You don't want a service that's just going to job cost this number over here, the earnings. You want a service that's going to give you the total numbers with the burden. So our system does a good job of that. And then if you do need to break into the employee detail here, there is an option so you can see who worked on that job and how many hours did they have specifically. So really, tying into those details is something that we, really like to focus in on our reports here, as Tom kind of showed earlier with the drill downs. And then, of course, if you're a union contractor, you can come over here and we have lots of different union reports. So if you need information by job, you can do that. Typically, most of our clients are just going to run this summary here. You can put in whatever date range you want, month or 60 days or whatever your limit is there. When you hit report, it's going to separate it out by union. So I can see for my date range, here's the first union I have, the guys that work here, what their wages are, what was deducted or what you're paying on their behalf for the fringes. And then for each union, you'll also get a summary page here. So making it nice and easy to, pay the unions what they need to be paid. And then if you ever do, get audited, obviously all the details are going to be in here, and you can export any of these reports by printing them. You can PDF, Word, Excel, or CSV. So getting the information out of the system is, never an issue. All right, now just to kind of recap here, because we want to, allow some time for questions here as well. Again, 2 products. You've got the full foundation accounting system for job costing, the full ERP with, project management, field management, mobile capabilities, as well as the payroll service, where you're going to, mainly be focusing in on paying the employees, having us pay the employees, having us pay the taxes, as well as getting those reports I just showed you there. Again, these can be used in, any which combination. So you can process your payroll in-house in Foundation. You can use, if you have Foundation, you can use the payroll service to have us pay the employees and taxes if you don't want to do it. Or if you're a QuickBooks user or, using any other accounting system out there, you can use Payroll for Construction as a standalone service. So that way you can get, all those construction specific reports that, your accounting system, may not provide. Like it says there, both products can be purchased and run separately or together just based on kind of what your needs are at the time. And both products are accessible online. So you can log in from any computer with internet to do your entries, run your reports, and everything from there. So with that all being said, the next part here is going to be open it up for questions. So let me see here. Tom, I don't know if you have any there. I don't think I can see them on my end.
No, sir. We don't have any just yet.
Cool.
Yeah, if
Awesome.
anybody does have any questions, there should be an area within your GoToMeeting player where you're going to be able to type those in, and Andrew and I will be able to go through them and answer all the questions that you have. Our first question is for you, Andrew. How many states does Payroll for Construction process payroll in?
So we process payroll in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter if you just work in one state or if you work across multiple states. No matter what, we're going to be able to help. Even if you're new to working in a new state, we're going to help with, helping you out with getting that ID number for the new state and, making sure we can do the quarterlies and all that. So we do process payroll in all 50 states.
Next question, does your team answer tax notices from the IRS or the specific states?
So for that one, yeah, so tax notices, I mean, we get them, we do the quarterlies for you. I know with some things like, unemployment and things like that, if you have an unemployment claim, some things will go to you first. But the thing that I always mention to people is you're going to have a tax specific team on our end to work with. There's an email address as well as you'll have a main contact that you can call and reach out to whenever you have questions on things like that. So if you do get something in the mail, a notice or anything like that, you're going to have that tax team on our end to, to lean on for, those types of questions. So yeah, absolutely. Any tax questions you guys would have, we're going to have a team here, to help out with those.
I'll just leave the questions open for another minute or so, and then with the actual webinar, we are recording all webinars. So anybody who registered and attended, we're going to give you a copy of that webinar. So we'll send it directly to you, and then anybody also looking to set up a demonstration to dive in a little bit more or has more questions after we wrap up today. Obviously we have our contact info. You can reach me directly, or you can reach Andrew directly as well. Both of us work in the same office, which is also a nice thing about having, both a software and a payroll service provider. They're not two separate companies on both ends of the United States. We're all pretty much in the same office. So it's extremely integrated from both support standpoint, tax standpoint, software standpoint. All right, so we don't have any other questions. I'd like to personally thank everybody for attending today. If you need any more information from the accounting side, you may contact me directly at any point in time. I can be reached via email or phone. Same thing with Andrew. His information is on the screen right now. So if you want to ask more questions or you want to see pricing or a personalized demonstration, you can contact either one of us. Literally, our offices are right close next to each other. So a very close-knit company, very close-knit group. And once again, thank you for everybody attending. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
All righty. Thank you guys, everyone, for your time. Thanks for taking the time for attending, and have a great day.